Hey everybody, welcome to another recap of The Amazing Race. Homer's here with me tonight. So, they were in Bavaria and they're flying to the Land of Fire, which just so happens to be Baku, Azerbaijan. And when they get there, they have to go to the Temple of Fire. So everybody was noticing that the Guidos were totally styling, some orange sunglasses without the lenses. They were pretty hot. And yeah, when they got to everybody ended up on the same flight. Even though Brendan and Rachel tried to edge out everybody else by going to a travel agent, but they all got on the same flight anyway. Whoops! Homer had a little accident. Alright, so when they got to the Temple of Fire, it didn't open till sunrise, but there was a rockin' New Year's Eve party going on there. It wasn't New Year's Eve, but it seemed like it. There was guys clacking swords and people dancing and fires burning and people making music. It was a real good time. It seemed like everybody really got into it, and that was probably the highlight of the entire trip so far. So, when they got the clues, they found out that there was an available fast forward. So, the fast forward was pretty difficult. You had to go to a hay market, unload a truck of bales of hay, and stack them up 3 by 10 by 5. Pretty hard work. So Dave and Rachel and the Guidos decided that they were going to go for it. Now, Dave and Rachel, Dave, you are so dumb. Why did you throw the hay down and have Rachel stack it up? It should have been the other way around, because stacking it up really seemed like the more difficult job. But she was a freaking workhorse. I didn't think she was going to make it, and I didn't think that they were going to beat out the Guidos. But the Guidos, despite God protecting idiots and little children, he wasn't looking out for them that day. So Dave and Rachel ended up sneaking in there and getting the fast forward. It was pretty neck and neck though, but they ended up getting it and they went right to the pit stop, which was at Esplanade Estaca. Alright, so they came in first. Mark gets carsick in the back of cars. It's pretty funny, unless you're Mark. Alright, so they had to go to the Occupational Training International. Or maybe it was Institute, who knows. It was a place where they did crash simulations. There was a roadblock. One person had to go in the helicopter crash simulator and escape underwater. It was pretty scary, especially if you don't like small places or underwater. So Bopper, we find out, has a heavy-duty crush on Jamie. At least I think it was Jamie. I cannot understand those two speaking because it seems like they have rocks in their mouth. I guess it's just their accents. I don't know. Vanessa was freaking out because she just happens to be claustrophobic and not like being underwater. But she ended up doing it anyway. It took, 2 seconds longer than everybody else. Big deal. Alright, so the next leg was a carpet shop. Well, I shouldn't say leg because that's like the whole show. The next stop was carpet shop. And there was a detour. Vanessa and Dave were so dumb. The clues were like right in front of their faces, sticking out of these rolled up rugs, and they were looking everywhere else. Dumb, dumb, dumb. Okay. So it was a detour. It was either apples or oil. Both of these were a little crazy. Apples were, you had to search through these old cars filled with a ton of apples to find the one apple that had a race flag leaf. And oil was you had to go to a health center because I don't get it at all, but they think it's a good idea to soak in crude oil. I thought it was bad. I mean, I could be wrong, but I thought it was bad. So you had to, take these shoehorn-looking things and, scrape off a dude after he was dumb enough to be soaking in oil, and then whatever oil didn't come off, you had to give him a shower. All over. Those guys were pretty hairy, too. I'm surprised they didn't have any girls doing it, but it was all guys. And they were as hairy as St. Bernards. And I quote, and they had to touch junk and clean junk and get in his junk, and it was way too much fun. 4 out of the 7 chose the oil. The other three, Neri and Jamie, Vanessa and Ralph, and the Guidos, all chose the apples. Well, Neri and Jamie took forever on the apples. They were like looking at them like, hello. I mean, it's pretty obvious if there's a flag sticking out or not. You don't have to examine them. I guess they didn't know exactly what it was going to look like until they actually found it. So Vanessa and Ralph, they took a long time too. They emptied out the whole trunk and then they went on the interior and then they finally found it. But the freaking Guidos found it in like no time. They were just lucky. I guess God was looking out for the idiots that time. So at the pit stop, at the Esplanade Estaca, Rachel and Dave, like I said before, came in first place, and they each won a 2013 Ford Taurus SHO. That is a freaking amazing prize for both of them. Oh my God, that's got to be like over $100,000. It's got to be. All right, so Art and JJ came in second place. Third place was Mark and Bopper. Fourth place was Brendan and Rachel. Fifth place was Neri and Jamie. Now, Vanessa and Ralph and Joey, Fitness, and Danny, they were pretty much neck and neck toward the end there, because even though Vanessa and Ralph finished first at the Apple thing, their driver took off to find directions, and the way they edited it made it seem like Joey, Fitness, and Danny were going to edge them out, but they didn't. And how many people are so tired of hearing Vanessa and Ralph say cheese and crackers? Grow up, kids. Pick something funner. I can't stand that. All right, so like I said, the Guidos came in last place. Doesn't that make you sad, Homer? The Guidos are eliminated. Well, you know what? I wasn't a big fan of them, but I was really hoping that this would be the week for Vanessa and Ralph to go bye-bye, but not yet. Maybe next week. So next time, if they had gone, we wouldn't get next week, which is awesome. Vanessa and Rachel get into a scrap. And Rachel basically calls Vanessa old, and Vanessa tells Rachel she should have got her nose done before her boobs. I can't wait. Till then, much love.